9 to 5.
There, 8 seconds. Try it again. London, touch.
C-Mo to C. Mitchell checking in with a postseason Falcons birdbath. Versus the Panthers, the Falcons were just terrible. The defense played all right in the first half. In the second half, they lost containment. You had guys peeking in the backfield. We were getting beat on man coverage and zone coverage. We had guys not wrapping up on tackles, just breaking tackles and going for more yards after contact. The offense put up 38 points, but they're not blameless either. We had receivers out there dropping passes, not really helping the rookie out. The interception was definitely the turning point in the game. Although I don't blame the offense, the team seemed so unfocused that you got to ask what was going on with the coaches naturally. And I'm a raw supporter, but I'm not going to hold you guys. This was totally unacceptable. And you got to blame the leadership for this game specifically for missing the playoffs this year. There's definitely some games that Kirk cost us. There's definitely some accountability with coaching, but you can't keep firing coaches. At some point, you got to look up even higher in the food chain. And I'm not talking about general management. I'm talking about Rich McKay and Arthur Blank themselves. What kind of moves have they influenced behind the scenes that we've actually put on Dimitroff and even Terry Fontenot right now? Because we know that Terry didn't even get to hire his own coach at first with Arthur Smith. So who knows what he got to do in the first 2 years of the draft. But I'm not going to hold you guys up too long. We're going to check in with my boy J-Bo real quick and get his opinions as an unbiased fan on what just happened.
All right, J-Bo. Appreciate you being on the bird bath this week. Worst offense and defense in the league, and they put up 44 points on us, man.
C-Mo. Hey, man, I have nothing good to say.
Right.
That was atrocious. One of the main reasons why I'm not a Falcons fan. Last game of the year, game that you really needed, even though the Bucs did beat the Saints, it really doesn't matter. They needed to show that they wanted to go to the playoffs. They needed to show that they was ready to go to the playoffs. They didn't show it. Offense played spectacular. I'm talking about they was on point. But once again, just like Smokey told Craig in his mom and dad's house, man, you don't never have two things at one. You got to have no burger, cereal, no milk, ketchup, no mustard. Hey, man, that's how it is. It seems like for some strange reason, throughout the whole season, either the offense was good and the defense was bad, or the defense was good and the offense was, just
Right.
It was. I blame the coaches.
Yeah.
I blame the coaches on this one. I do. Not saying that Raheem Morris should be fired, but I blame the coaches. They didn't have the defense ready. Offense was ready to play, but defense should have just said, man, look, man, let's win the game for Penix, man. The boy balled out. Defense just laid it egg, man. It's ridiculous, man. You playing the Carolina Panthers, man. The Carolina Panthers. And you let your boy go off. Hey, I told you earlier, bro. Hey, this was a real game for Bryce Young. This was his audition for next season, and he showed out. The Falcons had no clue defensively. They did not adjust. After halftime, third, fourth quarter, the defense got worse.
Well, do you think that the Falcons actually have the players to have adjusted enough to stop them that game anyway? Because I'm looking at the roster for next year. I feel like on the defensive unit, there's only like 4 bona fide starters right now. A.J. Terrell, Bates, Caden Ellis, and Ebiketie. And other than that, I don't see anybody else on that defense who should definitely be a starter next year. Maybe we could bring back Jadon at a team-friendly price that's cheap, but I don't see him as a regular main starter. He's like a rotational piece. I feel like Grady Jarrett may not necessarily be a starter for sure. Anyamata, neither of them put up like great production this year to say you're a bona fide starter next year, and their ticket is too high.
Falcons are going to have to go back to the drawing board in the offseason.
Right.
They're going to have to weigh their options. I really don't know everybody's contract on defenses. Who's coming back, who can they keep, who can they give a discount to, or who can they pay. But I do know they may have to think about getting another defense coordinator. If everybody should go, it may be late. Like I said, I have nothing good to say about the Falcons tonight. I did last week. Not tonight.
Do you think they will fire Jimmy Lake? Because him and Raheem are like boys, right?
Well, That's a good question. We may be saying the same thing about Lake that we saying about Raheem Morris. I give him another year. You know,
Ooh,
I,
yeah. Because I feel
I'm
like that soft defense that he runs, that soft defensive philosophy, it's usually all good until you get to the end of the game. And they got to have
yeah.
some. Then you give up a bunch of, you
Well, you
know.
can't have a soft. You can't have that soft coverage when you don't have pressure from your front four.
Man, you ain't lying.
You can't. And I think they went on a stint where they had about 4 or 5 sacks a game. They was coming into their own. Then the offense fell off.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and then towards the end, when Pennis came in, offense kind of stepped up a little bit. Then the defense fell off.
right.
So to me, it's a mystery. All I know is you do not end the season like they ended Sunday. You just don't.
Facts.
Regardless of what predicament they was in, man, you just do not give up 44 points in a
Agree.
must-have game. That's on the coaches. I mean, yeah, I don't know who's going to come back on the defensive side next year, but I put all the blame on the coaches. The coaches did not have that team ready to play Sunday. They
Mhm.
didn't. Mm-mm,
I
they
can't say
didn't.
I can't say I totally disagree with you. That I feel like I blame that defense just in general. Those players, they just didn't do what they needed to do. And I don't know. Maybe they could have coached them up better to tackle better and all that. But by the time it's the 17th game of the season, you know what you supposed to be doing out there. You know what time it is. They let Bryce Young go out there and just backyard football us.
Well, see, Mo, they had no adjustments.
Yeah,
What it looked like, I mean, I wasn't in the locker room at halftime, but from what I saw in the first half to what I saw in the second half, it didn't look any different.
When you say you don't think they should fire Raheem, why you don't think they should fire Raheem?
Man, because football is a hard sport, first of all. Uh, the quarterback play kind of put a stalemate in everything.
right.
They fixed that. Give them another chance. Give them another chance. Man, you just can't. I still think they did Jerry Mayo wrong. I really think
Oh
they
yeah,
did Jerry Mayo
absolutely.
wrong.
Yeah, that was. Why
Yeah,
you even
man.
hire the
Just
man if you was gonna fire him after
right.
1 year?
Come
How
on, man. Give
you can't
give
get
a guy
nothing
a
turned around after
chance,
1 year?
man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I am a Falcon hater, but I'm just telling the truth. It's football. It's NFL. It's not everything is not gonna be flowers and sugar all the time, man. You
Right,
know that,
right.
man. You
It
know
be
that.
so much
I
stuff
mean,
go wrong and change up that you can't expect. Like, who would have expected that Kirk Arm would have went? Whenever you fire your coach, you are resetting your team
resetting your team.
because it's a new power structure. There's a whole new philosophy. Like now, they got to learn a new scheme. Unless they keep the same exact scheme, and most of the times they're not doing that. E-
No.
Even if they keep the same defense, they're gonna change the offense usually. Or if it's the same offense, they're gonna change the defense. And then usually with the offense, it's way more verbiage a lot
Yeah.
of the times,
Way
depending on what.
more.
Yeah, some offense has more. If we were to fire Raheem, and then you brought another guy in, and he didn't make the playoffs that year, do you fire him again now? And then you just keep firing people because they don't make the playoffs? You know?
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
So in the offseason, where would you like to see us go first? Because we was talking to Kev about this last night as well too. I like to see them go with somebody in the defensive front seven at first. I don't know what's going to be available for us at number 15, but I would love to see a true linebacker that can go sideline to sideline, and also come out with an edge guy in this draft. I feel like Braylon Trice is going to be good in the offseason. I feel like next year we're going to be talking about him being a really good player in addition, but we do need to add something else. And maybe I'd love to see an interior defensive lineman too. You were talking about that too. They got definitely would like to see
Yeah,
that.
because I did say the Falcons were lining their ass on the front
Yeah,
four. They need interior linemen. Um, Probably, what I'm saying? Like you say, a linebacker. I did see towards the end of the season that Lake was blitzing Ellis a lot more,
yeah,
and it didn't help. I didn't see it help towards the end of the season. He was a tackling machine towards the beginning of the season, but then, like you say, they kind of switched up the defense toward the second half, end of the season, and he was blitzing the hell out of Caden Sunday to no avail.
Right.
Nothing happened. Interior lineman is a must. See who's up on the market for another defensive end. You have to get pressure some type of way from that front four. You have to get pressure. I don't care if it's from the inside, off around the edges, but you have to get pressure for someone. Grady might be on his last legs,
Yeah,
He might be gone.
I hate advocating for any player to lose their job, but yeah, if he's not going to do a pay cut, he got to go because you can't pay him $16 million and he only give you 2 sacks.
Nah, man, don't do that, boy. Don't do that young boy penis like that, man. Get him a defense, man. That man can't go out there and keep throwing for you know what I'm saying, just have to keep throwing and throwing and throwing and fighting. I mean, give him some help defensively. Like I said, I still thought that the Falcons needed some help on the offensive side, but I take that back now. I take that back. They need
Right.
some help on the defense.
Yeah, I was gonna say
They
I
need
don't think
some
we
help.
need much offensive help. I mean, it'd be.
If Peters gonna ball out like he did Sunday, get the man some help on the other side of the ball.
I will say this to your point earlier because you said you like to see another deep threat offensively. Somebody like a MVS, a Marcus Valdez Scantling, or just a deep threat that can just take the top off.
Blow the top off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just an additional deep threat aside from Mooney. That way, it makes it a little bit harder and stresses the defense. But yeah, some type of role player. Somebody like to see that.
Someone that's reliable that you don't have to spend that much money on.
Oh man, you got possession
He
guys,
don't
but
have to start. He don't have to start. He don't
yeah,
have to start.
right.
Just get the man some veteran help. I did tell you that Drake London and Michael Penix, they got a connection.
9 to
But you
5.
get somebody that can blow that top off, man. Just get somebody, because Penix can spin it. He can get it to him. You just need somebody. I mean, Mooney's decent. But I still think a speedster that'll at least scare some safeties.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the MVP. Who you got on the MVP between like a lot of people are saying Josh Allen instead of Lamar? Where you think?
Will it may be the LeBron rule or the John rule when I say to this? They might say, all right, man, Lamar done had it enough. Even though he had a great season, man, let's give it to Josh this time.
Right.
If that happens, I wouldn't be mad.
No,
both of them balling, man. But
he got like 40 touchdowns, right? And 4,000 yards. And like how many yards he got rushing? Like almost 1,000. Like
yeah,
it's never been done.
You take Lamar off the Baltimore team and put just a decent quarterback on that squad, they still make the playoffs.
Maybe.
You take Josh Allen off the Buffalo Bills.
So they took Lamar off their team before and they didn't make the playoffs. That was only 2 years ago, right?
Who? What, Baltimore?
Yeah, Baltimore.
Yeah, when he got hurt.
Yeah, when he got hurt, he and now of course they. I don't know if they had Roquan Smith at that point. I feel like they did have Roquan Smith. I know they didn't have exactly this roster, but like let's say you take Lamar off and you put Derek Carr on that team. Do they make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Really?
Most definitely. Yeah, because they got King Henry. They got they got a good run defense.
Okay.
They got a couple of good receivers, good tight end. Yeah, they make the playoffs. You put Derek Carr on the Buffalo Bills team, do they make the playoffs?
Hell no. I don't know that Baltimore makes it with Derek Carr. I feel like Derek Carr is going.
Yeah, I think Lamar would probably have 2 Super Bowl appearances if Lamar was Lamar in those playoff games.
Yes.
No MVP player Lamar don't get you to the Super Bowl, I'm thinking. The last 2 playoff appearances they had, yeah, true enough, you had the Zay Flowers fumble last year at the goal line in the end zone to kind of mess the game up. But Baltimore tends to not do what they do to get them there in the playoffs. They kind of shy away from the run, but they got King Henry this year. They better not shy away from the run. But they don't look the same when they get to the championship, to the AFC championship games. They just do not look the same. I don't know if it's too much pressure on Lamar, which I seriously doubt. But they got to get over the hump this year. Now, if they don't get over the hump this year, then I don't know. I think Lamar is so much worried about the look of a running quarterback that can't win it by passing. I think that has a lot to do with him. I think he's thinking too much. I think Lamar has to be him in order to make it to the Super Bowl. Stop having to worry about what the outside people saying. Oh, he's just a running quarterback. He can't pass, and now they don't
Agreed.
worry about that, man. Do your thing,
Just go do what you play your game.
Yeah, just play your game.
Play your
But
game.
statistically, yeah, Lamar should get it. But if people want to just turn the cheek, try to go somewhere else, go to Josh Allen, I wouldn't be mad because both of them have had a stellar season this year.
I would a little bit. I feel like Lamar. I feel like Josh Allen is playing the best football of his career, and I
No
feel like
time.
Lamar is too. But I don't feel like Josh Allen is playing the best football of anybody in the league. I just feel like Lamar is.
Yeah,
I
that
just
yeah,
feel like.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Lamar's just different, man. And Josh
Yeah.
Allen, nice. I mean, don't get me wrong. It would almost be weird to not give it to him to have the numbers he has. It's one of those things you look back in history, be like, he didn't get the MVP. What was going? It's like Bijan not making the Pro Bowl this year. It's like, really? Y'all ain't gonna put
Yeah.
I'm assuming because he's out on the playoff team because Green Bay was a little bit better. And the guy tried to hit me. He was like, well, yeah, Jacobs got one more touchdown, and Bijan got 1,400 rushing yards. He's number 3 in rushing. He's
Right.
4th in yards from scrimmage, and he's above him in both of those areas.
Sometimes when you compare MVP players, you can say, well, he just looked better this season. He just dominated. Even if his stats were better than that other person that was, that he was going up against. But with the stats Lamar got, it's hard to say, oh man, well, Josh did this and Josh did that, man. But you see the stats, those stats are not misleading. Like I told you last night,
Right.
Can good stats be misleading? Yes, good stats can be misleading, but not in this case.
Right. I agree. He got that on top of he got that on top of King Henry with almost 2,000 yards. You wouldn't think a guy would still have 4,000 yards passing at the same time. And I get it's like it ain't like how like you were saying. It's like, okay, well, if I'm looking at Lamar, and let's say it was Brock Purdy or somebody, or you looking at Lamar, and then you looking at a Sam Darnold, and you're like, okay, Sam Darnold got these crazy numbers, but Lamar just looks so much better. It's like, and I heard somebody saying this on one of the other programs earlier. It was just like, yeah, when you look at both of them, they both are beasting out there today. It's like you got two Supermen out there on camera, on tape, and they both look crazy on. So it's kind of hard to say something about it. Which way?
And if you think about it, man, this is crazy. Just 2.5 seasons ago, Baltimore didn't want to pay this man.
Right. No, facts. Well, I think they're gonna pay. They don't want to do guaranteed contracts. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Falcons fans was mad we didn't get him. It's like, oh, y'all didn't want to go for this guy. And it's like, nobody in the league was going out. It was collusion going on. They didn't want to have inmates running the asylum. So.
Right. Yes, I can see Lamar winning it again.
Right.
But he has to get over the hump. You have to take advantage while Mahomes is still young and healthy. You have to sneak a Super Bowl.
You got to sneak one in those years, just like
when Tom Brady. When Tom Brady had his era, Eli snuck a couple.
Yeah, Peyton Manning got on why Brady was still in his prime, and that way you're not remembered like Charles Barkley.
Right.
Because Charles Barkley, one of them dudes, just like, damn, bro, like he's one of the maybe the second or third best power forward all time, and he should be in your top 10, but you don't put him in there a lot of times because he ain't got that hardware, and it's just
the joint era.
Right? Yeah, for real. And aside from, he's the most undersized guy that played, because he's like 6'4", playing power forward. He was like the AI of power forwards almost, basically, type of deal. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
They had to change the rule. They had to change the back to the basket rule just because of him.
Yeah.
Just because of him, because he kept it back toward the basket damn near the whole shot clock, So, It's crazy, man. But hey, I still think I still think that Lamar go get it, but I wouldn't be mad if Josh Allen just
I hope he
you
get
know
a
they just
one.
want to get it to him.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
Lamar get him a title this year. I think this is year. This might be his year because I think Kansas City looks pretty beatable right now.
Who do you see in the AFC Championship?
You know what? I can see it as I see Baltimore going, but I can see it easily being them against KC, or I can see them against the Bills.
Any sleeper teams in the AFC you think?
Who's the seventh? Who's the seventh and sixth?
Like San Diego,
I don't see it with San Diego.
Denver,
I could see Denver doing a little something nasty.
I would say if I'm gonna pick an AFC sleeper team, it would be the Broncos. I don't see it happening necessarily, but anything could happen. Y'all can get in there. I'm wondering what y'all firepower gonna be like, but I actually am liking the connection that y'all with Cortland Sutton out there. Cortland Sutton
Well,
looking.
we got a basketball team out there.
Yeah,
I think our smallest receiver 6'4", 6'3". Cortland Sutton is 6'4", 6'5". Valet is like 6'3", 6'4". Franklin is like 6'2", 6'3". Mims is like 6'4". So we got a basketball team out there. I mean, defense. You gonna see a lot of running the ball and a lot of defense in this playoff this year. Everybody gonna try to limit the turnovers, and I think that's what's gonna help us a lot. Our defense go. If we could just, I think we only allowed like 13, 14 points per game.
right.
So it's going to be hard to stop Josh Allen. But I'm thinking, no, I'm not thinking. I know for sure you can't stop Josh Allen. You can't contain Josh Allen. You just want to limit his big plays. If
Right.
we can limit Josh Allen plays, just the big plays, Josh Allen might have 8 to 9 to 10 big plays a game. If we can limit him to 5 and keep the score close, I think we can upset him.
Yeah, I can believe that. I can see that. Before we dip though, who you got for the Super Bowl? What's your Super Bowl? Who you think gonna be in the Super Bowl?
I got to go with my picks from last year.
Okay.
Detroit and Kansas City, which was supposed to have been last year. Detroit and Kansas City.
Okay. Yeah, Detroit is looking pretty nasty right now. So
Hey man, a team is the extension of the head coach.
hey, a few weeks ago they was talking about how beat up they were and everything. So
A team is the extension of the head coach. Detroit is one of the toughest teams that I've seen in a long time. Detroit is a tough team, bro.
right.
Tough.
Yeah.
They tough as nails, man. They
Yeah.
tough.
All right, guys, that's our show for the day. Falcons Bird Bath. Peace.